Hello, everybody. Kiri Honey here. I am here with my son, Loki, and it is his last day of being a 3-year-old, and of course, he's not feeling his best self. So, he's doing a lot better than he was this morning, but regardless, he is here with me. This is life. This is real life. This is live. So, we are talking about a massive topic today. We are talking about trust. And there's a few different components to trust. We've got trust in ourselves as well as trust in others. And if you are here watching, do say hi. Hi, Tracy. I would love to know that you're here, and if you're watching on replay, just say #replay so I know that you were here.
Mom.
Yes.
Mom, spa.
Later. Okay, so as I mentioned briefly, I did a podcast interview recently all on this topic as it comes to relationships and learning to build trust again. And some of the things that I've learned has been quite interesting on the whole trust front because, well, personally, I always had a bit of a trust issue. And it came down to other people and me trusting that they were going to basically not cheat on me, which turns out happened quite frequently. Okay, good boy. Sorry. Okay, but what I've learned on the trust front is it really comes down to trusting yourself. Because so many of us actually don't trust ourselves. We don't trust ourselves to make the right decision. We don't trust ourselves to be able to follow through. We don't trust ourselves to be able to achieve the goals, the changes that we want. And a lot of that comes down to actually knowing what we want and having support to achieve what we want and that kind of stuff. So maybe you've been burnt by someone. Maybe you've been burnt by yourself. Maybe you've made a bad decision in the past that has led you to not trust yourself. And the funny thing is our brains try and keep us safe. They keep us from doing new things, to doing challenging things, to do things in a way that is different to how we've done it before. And you can see evidence in this if you read Mel Robbins or listen. It's got an audiobook to Mel Robbins' book, The 5-Second Rule, because in it talks about the fact that our brains take literally 5 seconds to talk us out of doing something. And that is because our brains can't distinguish the difference between things that will actually kill us and things that will allow us to grow and develop and improve. And so back to the trust thing. You need to learn to be able to trust yourself before you can learn to trust others. And I'm thinking about the fact that, I used to worry and check phones and worry where my husband was and were concerned that he would be doing something that I didn't approve of, largely because he is a very different person to me. And the things that he does are very different to the things that I do. And so trusting that he would tell me if he was doing those things. I would check the phone to find proof that he was or was not doing those things. So if any of that relates to you, I know what that feels like. And I also know that that really does not concern me anymore. And it comes down to your own confidence. And no, you can't control what other people do. Like zero control. All you can do is share your own values, your own opinions in a way that you can clearly express and hope, basically, that in sharing your values in an honest and authentic way, that the person you're sharing those with, if that's your husband or your partner or whoever it is, that they will respect how important that is to you and follow and respect that. That thought kind of went funny. But that's really all we can do. And let's talk about sorry, my Loki's kicking. Okay. I was asked certain questions, or you know what? You can ask a question if you've got a question related to trust. Feel free to pop it in the comments. And I'm just going to answer some of these. Okay, so I am looking through, sorry for the pause. I'm looking through questions that I was asked in the recent podcast that I thought might be helpful for you. Okay, so what are common signs that the problem in the relationship could be related to trust issues? And my response to that is if it's historical, like if it's something that's triggered by past events, something that has happened that leads you to make like a what's the term I'm looking for? An educated guess that this could happen again. If there are patterns repeating, and I mentioned briefly the whole cheating thing, like we talked about that as a like this would definitely be the end of our relationship if it happened. So Lori and I talked about that very early on, because not only did I have an issue with this historically, but so did he. And so it was something that we were aware of that we didn't want to have happen. But then when it did happen, we then became very aware of what caused it to happen. And it comes down to the gap. So what's the gap in your relationship? What are you not saying? Okay. Just play for a bit, bud. Yeah. Sorry. What's missing in your relationship that can allow something else to fill it? And it could be looking at images on the internet. It could be talking to somebody else It could be even finding someone else to agree with you when your partner doesn't agree with you. So these are all issues that can fill that gap and cause miscommunication, trust issues, all of that. I hope this makes sense. Let me know in the comments if you're following along and it all makes sense.
I need to win a pool.
And now we have toilet issue. Okay.
I'll meet you there.
I better make this quick because I'm gonna have to go wipe a bum. Awesome. This is what live looks like, everybody. The other thing is about manifesting. So if you are constantly worried that you're gonna find an image on your partner's phone that is gonna prove that he's doing stuff that is not okay with you, probably you are gonna end up finding that thing because you're like encouraging it to happen just by constantly thinking about it and constantly worrying about it. But the funny thing is, you would stop worrying, and if you were busy doing your own thing and you were happy in yourself, you wouldn't be waiting for them to fill a gap in your own life. You would be filling that gap yourself by doing all the amazing things that you want to do. Interesting, right? Okay. Okay. Trust building tools couples can use to deal with conflict. So, I'm getting called now. Okay, I might have to wrap this up and do a part 2. But but my recommendation is to talk about what's scary and why it's scary. Being vulnerable is a game changer. It's scary and it's worth it. And trust yourself because you are more capable than you think. Now I have to go wipe a bum. Maybe we will maybe we will next week. I'll do a part 2 on trust, and you can submit your questions on specific things you would like me to talk about related to trust. Okay, I will see you next week. You take care and trust yourself. Bye-bye.